Finally, I, Walter, a countdown genius, will be giving you all what you want, an episode on Dexter's Laboratory!
Actually, it's pronounced laboratory, and there's no need for your inferior analysis, Walter, for I, Heather, the true countdown genius, will host this week's episode!
Aiyanna! How many times have I told you you're not hosting this week? You've never even seen Dexter's Lab! Now get off of my set!
Fine.
Dexter's Lab was a definitive show for Cartoon Network in the mid to late 90s. 2 cartoon shorts were produced for the What a Cartoon Show in 1995 and 1996, which helped launch the series. Creator and producer Genndy Tartakovsky, who later went on to create Samurai Jack, was the main creative force behind the show. However, he had what would become an all-star animation team behind him. Craig McCracken, Seth MacFarlane, Butch Hartman, and many others helped cultivate one of the most well-received original series in Cartoon Network's history. Over 2 seasons, the show aired 52 episodes and a TV movie, originally intended to end the series, before it was revived for 26 more installments under a new team. Critical acclaim and fan admiration continue to endear Dexter to new and old fans alike. When we look back on the series, which of the episodes, usually divided into 3 7-minute segments, are the most memorable? Which of them cemented Dexter's Lab as the quintessential cartoon? Well, it is my pleasure to present the best of the best right now. These are the top of 5 best!
These are the top 5 best Dexter's Lab!
Hey guys, look at my new dance. It's called the Fanciful Unicorn.
Number 5. Ew, That's Growth, from Season 2. Dexter has had it with being short. He has to climb down from his bed with a ladder, sit on phone books to reach the kitchen table, and his parents and sister are so much taller than him, they can sometimes barely hear him when he speaks. Nonetheless, he's excited to go with his family to the carnival and ride a new roller coaster called The Thing. After a long wait, the attendant notices Dexter is too short to ride, and thus, he is forced to wait as his family has all the fun. The boy genius then sets out on a mission to make himself taller through science, so he can finally experience the coaster for himself. This episode may have made me laugh the most out of all of them. The jokes and visual gags are hilarious and a trademark of the show's quality in those first 2 seasons. I love the episodes where Dexter interacts with his family. Obviously, he does this regularly with Dee Dee, but when we see their parents come into the mix as part of the story, it's always entertaining. Dexter's dad is especially great.
Do you think it's safe?
Oh, of course, honey. There's no safer rides than carnival rides.
His back and forth with the line attendant is so quotable. I love it.
We're here to have family fun.
No, sir, you don't understand. The kid is too little.
Family fun?
Child too small.
This all leads to maybe the best ending to an episode of Dexter's Lab. I won't give it away, but the timing and payoff is perfect. You need to go back and watch Ew, That's Growth. It's a big old load of
family fun.
Number 4. The Big Cheese, from Season 1. Dexter is supposed to be studying for his French exam, but keeps brushing it off to work on more of his science experiments. By the end of the night, he decides on just listening to a recording of basic French as he sleeps. Unfortunately, the record ends up skipping and just repeats the same phrase all night long. When Dexter awakens the next day, those are the only words he can speak, no matter how hard he tries. However, when he arrives at school, this ends up being less of a detriment than he thought. This might very well be the most famous episode of Dexter's Lab, all due to these words.
Omelette de fromage, omelette de fromage, omelette de fromage, omelette de fromage.
It's funny how this has become a meme recently. Just goes to show how well known this episode still is among those who watched it. The Big Cheese is basically an I Am Groot situation, as voice actress Christine Cavanaugh got to use different inflections on the same phrase to portray different emotions.
Hey, Dexter! You talking to our girls?
Omelette de fromage! Omelette de fromage!
Hey, whoa, slow down, buddy. I didn't know it was like that, man.
What's just as funny as Dexter's delivery is the reaction he gets from people. Suddenly, he has all the answers people have wanted to hear their whole lives. It escalates to a great little climax that was set up earlier in the episode. Omelette du fromage may be what we all remember, but Dee Dee's repeated phrase is almost as funny and definitely haunting towards the end.
That's all you can say! That's all you can say! That's all you can say!
This was a genius premise, storyboarded by Charlie Bean, with background design by Butch Hartman and directed by Tartakovsky himself. It's pretty much the classic episode, and if you haven't seen it in a while, what are you waiting for? This big cheese is just waiting for you to take another cut. Number 3. Dial M for Monkey, Rasslor, from Season 1. The imposing cosmic being known only as Rasslor has come to Earth looking for a fight. He challenges our world's greatest heroes to one-on-one battles. If he is victorious over them all, he'll destroy the Earth. Many of the heroes fall in defeat, but there is one that's looking to give Rasslor a run for his money he's not expecting. The greatest hero of them all.
The crowd knows. Weighing in at 17 pounds, the superpowered primate, Monkey!
Before we get into Rasslor, we've got to talk about Monkey. More specifically, his segment, Dial M for Monkey. I loved when these would pop up on the show, as Monkey was a really funny and quite interesting character. Being Dexter's pet, he sneaks out when he has to defend the world as its mightiest champion. When he'd cross over with Dexter-centric episodes or interact with the Justice Friends, it made the show feel bigger. There was more going on than just Dexter and his lab, which was a fun concept for this kind of cartoon series. Randy Macho Man Savage voiced Rasslor with his unmistakable raspiness. He was a blast to listen to in this role.
You have been chosen to receive the most glorious of gifts, the opportunity to face me, the great Rasslor, in a contest of strength and skill. I am the champion.
In fact, I'd say this role is right up there with his turn as Bonesaw McGraw in the first Sam Raimi Spider-Man movie. He plays wrestlers and fights superheroes in both projects, but I feel like he got to go all out crazy with his Dial M for Monkey appearance. It would have been fun to see him pop up more as the series went on, but it never happened. In any case, he was one of Monkey's greatest foes, and this episode is one that I think many fans still remember fondly to this day.
Ooh, yeah!
Number 2. The Laughing, from Season 2. At Dee Dee's birthday party, Dexter is bitten by the stray teeth of a clown entertaining the group of children. Later, he starts acting strange and involuntarily laughing. As it turns out, Dexter transforms into a clown at night and goes on a rampage of mischief throughout the city. Dee Dee finds out about Dexter's predicament and is the only one who can save him from himself. But she can't do it alone. She goes to a mime school to be trained, and soon enough, it's clown versus mime, sister against brother, with Dexter's sanity on the line. I love this episode. It's interesting, it's creepy, it's funny, it hits the mark in all the areas it aims to. Among other well-done homages, how Dee Dee reveals to Dexter that he's been moonlighting as a clown is kind of familiar.
Put on some hair, add some dorky glasses, a lab coat, and some boots.
Oh no.
The ending battle with Dee Dee mime-fighting Dexter is fantastic. The narration from the cops just makes it that much better.
That's a genuine mime.
Yeah, well, what's she gonna do?
I think she's trying to capture him. Yep, she's got a lasso.
Oh, she missed.
He's on to her.
This concept was a great one and played up to its full potential in The Laughing. It also had a little more time to do so, as this episode of Dexter's Lab had only 2 segments instead of 3. Check it out for one of the most unique installments in the series. Dexter's Lab has so many great episodes, it's ridiculous. If some of your favorites didn't fit onto the list, odds are I love them too. But since we can't have 200 honorable mentions, here are a few that just missed out on my top 5. And the number 1 best Dexter's Laboratory episode is... Last but not Beast, from Season 2. Dexter is in Japan for a foreign exchange program when he accidentally awakens the monster Dexter. Soon, all of Japan is in peril as heroes spanning the globe fight to stop the rampage. One by one, they are defeated by the beast. The only hope is then Dexter and his family. They pilot his multi-formic Megabot and clash with the monster to stop him once and for all. Last but not least is the only episode in this series that has one continuous story. It was meant as the finale before the movie Ego Trip and crossed over most of the characters from the Justice Friends and Dial M for Monkey. It's very well done and would have been a worthy send-off for the show. The threat of Dexter forcing Dexter's family to come together like never before, including showing his parents his laboratory, made everything feel special. And that song is the best thing ever.
Go, Dexter family, go! Go, Dexter family, go!
I love it! The conflict within and outside of Dexter's family gave the story a lot of heart, which I really appreciated. By the way, tell me this isn't a precursor to Samurai Jack.
Long ago, when the world was young, a mighty dragon ravaged the land. It destroyed villages, it devoured farms, it crushed any warrior bold enough to face it.
Throughout the first 2 seasons of the series, Dexter's Lab was one of the most unique and imaginative cartoons on television. It was obviously influenced by classics like Looney Tunes and early Hanna-Barbera, but was also its own distinctive thing. It was great for kids, but adults could also enjoy the humor and situational storytelling, which is why it absolutely holds up all these years later. And if you're ever feeling like revisiting the Tartakovsky era of the show, you won't be disappointed. For more Dexter's Lab content, head over to my personal channel and check out my review of Ego Trip. Is the TV movie that was supposed to end the series as good as we remember it to be? Also, my 2 favorite 90s Nickelodeon and Cartoon Network shows go head to head. It's Dexter's Laboratory versus Hey Arnold, going up soon at youtube.com/awesomewalter. I want to hear what you guys think. What is your favorite Dexter's Lab episode?
What do you want to see us cover next on the show? Leave a comment and let us know.
To keep it in touch, you can follow me on Facebook or follow along on Twitter.
And you can find me on Twitter, Instagram, or Twitch, where I stream on Wednesday nights.
And you can find me on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram.
We'll catch you next week back here for a brand new episode of A Top